Of all the Norse gods, Odin the Allfather was the wisest, but wisdom is never given freely, and no god ever paid more dearly for it than he. Odin ruled from his high seat in Asgard, from which he could see across all the 9 worlds. 2 ravens and 2 wolves were his companions, and a great spear was in his hand. Yet Odin was restless. He longed to understand everything, the secrets of the dead, the workings of magic, and even the shape of things to come. At the roots of the world tree Yggdrasil lay a sacred well, whose waters held the deepest wisdom in all creation. It was guarded by a wise and ancient being named Mimir. Odin asked to drink from the well. Mimir agreed, but named a price so steep that any other would have turned away, one of Odin's own eyes. Without hesitation, the Allfather reached up and plucked out his own eye and dropped it deep into the sacred waters of the well. Then he drank, and a flood of wisdom filled his mind. From that day on, Odin saw the worlds with a single eye, but understood them as no one else ever could. But there was one secret even the well could not give him: the runes, the letters of power that held all magic and knowledge within their shapes. To win them, Odin made the greatest sacrifice of all. He pierced himself with his own spear and hung from the world tree Yggdrasil for 9 days and 9 nights. He took no food and no water, given as a sacrifice of himself to himself, gazing down into the shadowed depths below the tree. At the very end, on the brink between life and death, the runes rose up to meet him. With a great cry, Odin seized them and fell back from the tree, reborn. Now Odin knew the runes and the mighty magic they held. He carved them and shared them, a gift of wisdom for gods and for worthy mortals alike. There was one more treasure Odin desired, the mead of poetry, a magical drink that could turn anyone who tasted it into a poet or a sage. The mead had been brewed from the blood of the wisest being who ever lived, and after his death it passed from hand to hand until a giant hid it deep inside a mountain. There, in 3 great vats within the heart of the mountain, the precious mead was guarded by the giant's daughter, Gunnlod. So Odin set out in disguise to win it, hiding his godly nature beneath the cloak of a wandering traveler. By a clever trick, he had a hole bored deep through the mountain's solid stone, right into the hidden chamber where the mead was kept. Then Odin changed his shape into a long serpent and slithered through the narrow hole, deep into the mountain's heart. Within, he found Gunnlod keeping her lonely watch over the 3 vats of shining mead. Odin charmed the giant's daughter, and she allowed him 3 sips of the mead, but in 3 enormous draughts, he drank all 3 vats completely dry. Then Odin turned himself into a great eagle and burst from the mountain, racing back toward Asgard with the mead held inside him, the furious giant in pursuit. He reached the walls of Asgard just in time, and spat the precious mead out into the great vessels the gods had ready and waiting. And so the mead of poetry was won, and from Odin's gift came every poet, every song, and every wise and beautiful word ever spoken. Each dawn, Odin sent out his 2 ravens, named Thought and Memory, who flew across all the worlds and returned to whisper into his ear all that they had seen. Often Odin himself wandered the worlds as a gray-cloaked, one-eyed traveler, trading riddles and seeking wisdom in the humblest of places. But all his hard-won wisdom carried a heavy price of its own, for Odin alone could see the doom that was coming, the day the gods would fall, and nothing he learned could prevent it. And so he prepared and gathered his fallen heroes and carried the sorrow of his knowledge in silence, the wisest and most far-seeing of all the gods. An eye, a sacrifice upon the tree, and a daring theft, such was the price Odin paid for wisdom. Follow for more tales of the Norse. Next time, the very beginning of all things and the giant from whose body the whole world was made.